Hello. How's
Hello.
it going?
Going good.
Sorry, starting slightly late. We had a couple of technical issues bubbling away in the background, of course.
Technical issues, exciting conversations, new stuff
All good.
going on. All good
Yep, yep,
here
yep.
in the Koala Intelligence Agency world of
Edmund was
excitement.
just saying he wishes there was like a koala song that he could play at the start of these, and I was
Okay,
intensely grateful that there wasn't. However, I did just have an idea for one as well.
I did too, but you know what? Let's throw this out there. So tag the Koala Intelligence Agency, Koala Agency on Twitter/X with your idea for what the theme song for the KIA should be, which we will then choose one and play as we come in and out of these videos
These
until we all
sessions.
get insanely sick of it. So hopefully this is not a Bodie McBoatface situation, but let's hear from the agents themselves what you have in mind for the KIA theme song.
Theme song.
Yeah,
Excellent. Excellent.
yeah. And
That
then
sounds like a plan.
we can share ours as well as we see some suggestions. So I think relatively short stream today. We wanted to just do a catch up on kind of where we're at with the latest KIA initiative. Hello, Lady Valor. By the way, if you're watching this on Twitter, thank you for watching it on Twitter. But we are also on Macroverse, YouTube, and Twitch, and just about anywhere that you could want to watch a live stream. It would be very helpful at some point to jump over to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. Feed the algorithm as well
Yes.
as watching on Twitter. We want to make it as convenient to watch these updates wherever possible, but it does actually help to just drop a subscribe and a like on YouTube as well. So thank you.
Yes.
But yes, want to do a quick update on where we're at with KIA. If by any chance you don't know what we're talking about, the Koala Intelligence Agency is the latest project that has come under the Macroverse umbrella. What that mostly means is that we're building story and character and looking at turning the KIA into a larger world of entertainment, starting with comics and doing a specific kind of new way of approaching this with KIA specifically, in that we really want to lean into the fun, kind of humorous,
Whimsy. Yeah.
friendly, kind of fuzzy nature of the koalas here. Definitely seeing this as something that we see plushies and other kind of very family friendly elements coming out of, as opposed to some of the more hard
Hard
edged
edge stuff that we've
franchises
yes.
that we also love, but we
Well,
think
we
this
have love, and frankly, have lent into more than the cute and
yeah
cuddly. So I feel like that is something that we're keen to do and have a bunch of ideas around how to do. Yes.
yeah and are very excited. Hey, Tiny. And are very excited to do that. I think this brand, this franchise lends itself so well to that. And my kids are obsessed with stuffies. We have way too many of them in our house. And
I think that begs the question: can you have too many?
well,
This is the thing.
it does beg the question, and I feel like now the only answer is that if they're gonna have more, they should be ours. They should come from projects that we're involved with.
Yes, there we go.
We have a lot of Pokemon and other things, so let's add some koalas and agents.
Let's have some koalas.
To the list. So we're starting with short comic strips, which are intended to be, memeable, punchy, enjoyable in the timeline on Twitter, for example. Really working at a more social media kind of point of view, as well as building out the kind of the tone and the style and the vibe that we think the KIA can really lean into. So we're in the early conversations of bringing on the right artist for that. But the goal here is to take the concepts and characters from KIA holders and use those characters in these strips with a bunch of ideas for jokes and gags and setups that also come from the community. And so this will be a little bit of a fun, creative amalgamation process where the artists that we work with and all of us as KIA community members and contributors will kind of be throwing ideas into the mix, mostly through this Twitter thread that we've started. And then the artist will take those ideas and characters and create, strips on a regular basis based on those ideas. So it might be, one person's character that fits perfectly with a different community member's concept. And those things will end up, getting married together, or merged together. Or it might be a few different ideas. Here's a joke that I like or a punchline that I like, but this setup, works perfectly with that. And so we'll be kind of bringing those elements together to create something that we intend to be fun and surprising on a regular basis.
Yeah. I think very much drawing from and building from the kind of love of, certainly that I grew up with, was the kind of Garfield 3-panel, the Calvin and Hobbes, obviously. I mean, the Far Side. I think all these things really lend themselves to exactly what we want to do, which is very funny, and they can be punchy. They can be acerbic, they can be they can obviously have commentary on what's going on, and I think because we can turn these around very quickly, they will also be pertinent and be relevant and all those fun things in a way that the longer form strips just is much harder to be. So very, very fun, a very different vibe from what we've been doing. And actually, I'm really excited. We had an idea for one of these a while ago, and we ended up having this document filled with about 100 little kind of short ideas for these, for kind of similar short form things. So I know I'm going to be going back and mining some of those for this. I think it's going to be it'll be a blast. It's going to be great.
Exactly. And then the other thing I would throw out there to anyone who has koalas or who gets koalas is, you also have
Salute.
Excuse me. You also have, kind of a few different ways to approach this. You could approach it with just hey, I've got this cool koala. Let me throw it out there and see if you guys find a place for it. That's a wonderful way to participate. You could approach it from the idea of I've got a, random idea for a joke or again, sort of a setup or a situation that could be funny. One of the lenses that I've been thinking about this from is, The Office as well. So it's if we've got a bunch of koalas who are gathering intelligence and, disseminating that intelligence in different ways, or, going on little missions because of that. I think we talked early on as we brought the project into Macroverse that, I think one of the things we want to do with the KIA is not look at this just as its own distinct world of koalas, but also as the koalas in the larger world are this intelligence agency. But that also means there's a lot of opportunity to think about, are they gathering intelligence on Little Lemon Friends? Are they, playing with a cool cat for some reason? Are they spying on Bored Apes and what's going on in the swamp? There's a lot of opportunity for cross-pollination. So if you own other characters that could, fit into these concepts and punchlines and, setups, that's also something to, throw into the mix. This can be a really fun way to use koalas to comment on, to memeify, to play with, the broader world that, is beyond just the world of the koalas themselves, while keeping them very central to the story and to the overall through line. And so there are also opportunities to think about, as agents, little stories or, little 3-panel stories that, are specific to what is life like at the agency. So there's kind of the Office, concept, and then beyond that as well.
And I think that is very much, I think, we kind of hit on this chatting together a little bit ago, and I know it's been kind of discussed around, but that is how we get basically as much casting as possible done for the community. I think it's a little bit different. We've gone through this a couple of times when we're doing this with Vogu, some of the other things where it's we need 3 characters for this story. Those are the 3 characters. We're going to cast those characters, and now we're going. Whereas this is going to be a little bit different because of this setup that we've got. Yes, there'll be this kind of hub of office workers, but it'll be the office. So there'll be a bunch of different people that come in and out and a bunch of relations that happen there. But when they're dealing with agents in the field, great. That's where it's like, great, we're going to go to secret agent this, and we're going to go to agent this, and agent that is talking to this thing. That's how this thing gets to proliferate. And so we do keep this kind of narrative core while being able to play with as many of these other agents as possible, which I think will be a lot of fun. We'll get a lot of people kind of excited. I think it'll be great to get as many of these agents out and kind of into print, into pixel as we can.
And I also just can't help seeing Tiny Universe and Lady Valor in the audience in the chat. Can't help but just point out that we do have 2 projects under the Macroverse umbrella that include the word agency. So it just feels like there could be some opportunity there when you think about who those different agencies are and how they may or may not be aware of each other or suspicious of each other's existence in some way. Seems like there could be some fun to be had there. But without further ado, let us kind of jump into what we're seeing here in on this Twitter thread. And why is this not full screen? How did I do that last time? Somehow I made it full screen last time. Nope, that just hides up. That's going to bother me, but oh well. All right. So, interesting. Okay, that is going to bother me. But anyway, here we are in the Twitter thread. So if you go to the Koala Agency NFT Twitter at Koala Agency NFT, the Koala Agency KIA, you'll see our KIA profile here, and then the pinned tweet at the top is this thread where we ask people to start posting Wallas and ideas. So that'd be fun to just kind of go through some of these and talk about them a little bit. I think everything that's gone up so far has been awesome. Rommel chiming in, which is always wonderful. The former agent turned supervillain Taranaki Radiaclaw Maralinga suffered an accident while on a mission that caused him to develop radioactive powers. Angry with the agency, he's become a constant antagonist. No one knows if his schemes are to take over the world or just annoy the KIA. I love this. I think
it's a great one.
This points to something as well, which I think is an important distinction, that family friendly or all ages doesn't mean that everything has to be, like, as much as we want to embrace the kind of like hug life motto and concept here, it doesn't mean everything has to be like, we
definitely not.
A lot of fun with conflict and, things like, superpowers developing, and there's a lot of room for where this all goes, especially when you look at the collection. We just want to keep it where it's, something that you and your kids and kids of all ages, can enjoy together. I think.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you lean into the Garfield of it all in that way. It's very antagonistic. It's very confrontational in its own way. It's great.
I liked Garfield growing up as well, but as I've gotten older, I have less appreciation for Garfield. And
interesting.
Not always go back to Calvin and Hobbes. I think Calvin and Hobbes is just a high watermark for strips, and I think that's more the target we want to be hitting. But that said, one of the things I love about Calvin and Hobbes is you have very introspective moments, you have family dynamics, you have his fantasy life, which goes everywhere from space and to superheroes to mutants and dinosaurs. So I mean that spectrum of genre and opportunity is something I think we want to have the ability to lean into here as well. Very, very cool, especially when you think you've got this radioactive guy, and then you've got koalas on fire, and then you've got koalas really dressed for some special events or to go on a mission. So all kinds of places that this can go.
Oh yeah.
And here's a good example of here's Rommel with a pretty cool concept for what role this character could play, not necessarily a specific story, but what could this character's role in the larger series be? And then you've got Masqua posting hey, this is just a cool
just
koala,
my cool thing. Yep.
And feel free to use it, which is great. So we commented hot. Why don't you read this one? Agent 5626.
So yes, deeply conflicted about being discovered as double agent, while delightfully intrigued by the idea of being thoroughly exposed. 5626 lives in a world of mystery, intrigue, and discovery. Jade and the headphones, what are those for? Again, just this kind of, just a little more menacing, a little more. It's great. It's just
one of the things I love about this collection too is just the style of the Wallas is very appealing in general. But I think the artist here really just nailed this range of expressions for character types. So, you've got this guy, which is, clearly a little more laid back for whatever reason. And then you've got, this very much more mischievous, some kind of scheme is going on between those fuzzy ears.
Yeah, he's a rebel without a cause.
Yes, exactly. Love these two with the Oni masks as well.
Oh yeah, they're great. There's I think we're on a slightly different one. There's one with a little hoodie on as well, smoking a cigarette. It's kind of great.
For some reason
it shows up in different ways. It's so weird.
It's arranged differently. Thank you, algorithms. Coco the koala, the most unique and unexpected koala around, with an AK-47 and an Anbu mask. Koku is the ultimate badass of the eucalyptus forest. This fluffy but fierce marsupial is a force to be reckoned with, blending cuteness and combat skills that keep his furry friends safe. I gotta love the alliteration in this one.
Oh, for sure.
Blending cuteness in combat is great, and fluffy but fierce marsupial is also great.
I think just the word marsupial needs to be used much more. It's great.
Yes, indeed.
Love that. Tiny's tattooed one is great.
Yeah. He gave me a slash me Scary Garcia vibe. Yeah. Many ideas, but I'm open to any that want to get used. I mean, there are several of these guys that have pretty significant ink having been done on their fur, although it's a curiosity as to how one tattoos fur in this sense. But I love it.
Yeah.
And it also seems like there could be a story behind every tattoo.
No beef, no leaf. That's the one on the AK-47 one I just saw is one of the tattoos.
Oh, nice. No beef.
That's great. I think it's no beef, but it looks like yes. Great. Love it.
Love it. Yeah, and then again, just more cool guys to fill out the cast.
Fill out the world.
Yeah.
There's the punk. There's a parabolic bison has an awesome looking one with with a grill and a studded leather jacket. That's awesome. I love that.
Is it great? Yeah,
just love how happy he is. They are not he. They.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah.
And his or their companion as well. So it's very cool. That's a good pair. I like that.
That's a very good pair.
Another good pair while I was reporting for duty.
Yeah. The crazy tattooed ones, which are great with the Hug Life.
I love
legendary Damo
tattoos. And then this guy in the little monkey hoodie is also.
Oh yeah, that was the one I spotted earlier. I love that.
Love that.
Yep. It's going to be an interesting question. If we're leaning into the family friendly, I think some of the accessories we may want to minimize. So the cigarettes and things.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like we'll take the character, but potentially eliminate the cigarette or the AK or the what. I think there's going to be a little bit of creative license taken with some of that stuff to keep it on brand.
I would say this actually is the many people in the community will know that, but as we took possession of the smart contracts and the kind of the next steps for the project, one of those next steps, which is a couple steps out from where we are now, is to update the traits to make the whole collection a little more family friendly. So the community had authorized that update in general, and so things like the drug references and smoking, like we actually have replacement traits that will get integrated into the collection. The art's actually already done. We just have to get to for those that may not know, like we're getting ready to launch our Macroverse Web3 platform. And once that is out the door over the next, let's call it 4 to 8 weeks, then once that launches, we'll be able to turn attention to some of these things like updating the traits and the collection and things like that. So that will happen at the collection level, and then I think yes, in the comic and storytelling level too. I would say that if you have a really strong reason for like a specific character, smoking or drinking or something like that, and it fits in the context of the larger world and theme or vibe, like I wouldn't say it's out of the question, but I think as it stands in the collection right now, there are a lot of koalas that are imbibing. That's the thing we probably want to minimize a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's a great start to a bunch of really great characters. So I would just encourage anyone else who has a koala to get them put up in this thread. Anyone that might be interested in getting a koala, not financial advice. We have no expectation of financial returns for any of these things, just based on the acquisition of them. Let's be very clear about that. But the opportunity to see these characters that you own be used in this way in comics, and then generating some percentage of royalties based on any usage revenue that's generated based on those comics, like through a licensing mechanic. All very clean. So, that is definitely how you will be able to receive some compensation for any koalas that are used. But they are very affordable right now. All NFTs are generally very affordable right now. So if you want to play in this world, we'd love to have you.
And I think as well, just to say, obviously there's the posting of the characters is great. Obviously, people who have ideas, we will be sourcing a ton of stuff from the community. So it can be, I think we want to say at this point, the maximum would be the kind of 3-panel idea. Like that's really what we're going for. And then the one-offs as well. So the kind of Far Side single image featuring if you have an idea, featuring your koala would be amazing. We want to play in that world very, very much.
I'd say 1 to 3 panels. Occasionally I could see it stretching to 4, but I think we're kind of very much in that. Let's call it Far Side to Calvin and Hobbes. World.
Sure. Exactly.
And so, and I think, this just our intention right now is to get these and use them largely to just create conversation and propagate the brand and the world. They'll also go up on the mobile app, so they will be, available through the Macroverse app. And then once we have enough of them, what I would like to see us do is, collect them into some sort of print edition and a larger collectible edition through the platform, through the digital side as well. There may be some opportunities to mint some of these strips to collect them that way. But, it's really just to have a great time with these great characters and to make something really fun together. I think that's the main objective here.
For sure. And I think, the idea would be exactly to, once we've got enough of them that could justify doing something bigger like a print run, that's what we'll do. But in the meantime, we want to be, putting these out on a kind of, hopefully kind of bi-weekly meaning a couple times a week, not every 2 weeks, just kind of getting these things out there I think bi-weekly is actually wrong. Semi-weekly basis.
Yeah. With I think the goal, I mean, we'll have to kind of ramp up into it, but I think the ideal goal will be to get them on as close to a daily strip cadence as possible. Like I think that would be 100%. Where we'd love to get to. So we'll ramp up to it, but they'll definitely be regular and frequent. So the more fodder for that, the more marsupials we can bring to the process, the better. So I think that's where we're at. I think next week we can hopefully we'll have the artist on board for this next week, and then the first strips should start to come out very quickly after that. In the meantime, or actually anything else KIA related at the moment, Adam?
I don't think so for right now. No, we're just full steam ahead on this. I think this is the world we're in for the next little bit, and we'll have fun playing here.
Oh, and hello, Joe. I think the lemon is off of the tree at this point. Joseph Viteri in the chat on YouTube, the new leader of the Little Lemon Friends. So very excited about the opportunity to potentially do a little koala lemon crossover as well. When Joe and I and Bennett were talking, the concept for Lemon Friends, which I love, is here are these lemons that came off the tree and are off to have adventures. So it does seem like a really good crossover opportunity for koala agents and adventuring lemons to have some adventures together. But very excited for the future of Lemon Friends as well. I think a project is in good hands now, I can certainly say.
No, for sure.
So a few other just quick updates from around the Macroverse. So yesterday we talked about the progress on Vogu comic shorts. So if you're paying attention to Vogu, or if you're not paying attention to Vogu, perhaps even more importantly, go and check out what's happening over there. Totally different vibes, obviously one of the more mature series, but incredible art, incredible concept. Very excited about this first batch of stories that's moving into production there. That's now also over in the Macroverse Discord to follow along with the progress and production process that we go through there. And then probably the biggest thing to put on everyone's Macroverse radar is a Bushido's event for next week, where we will be retroactively casting the Bushidos that appear in the main storyline, and bringing the main characters in the core series back out to the community to cast characters from the community, from holders of Bushidos, as those main characters. So, we talk a lot about, the anthology opportunity is to create the next Boba Fett or the next Deadpool, kind of a franchise within the franchise. For Bushidos, this is kind of a chance to cast Luke and Han and Leia as the main characters in the main franchise. So I hope people are paying attention to this, because it's going to be very cool to see people from the collection become the stars of the show here. So keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely be posting about it at the main Macroverse channels, at Macroverse on Twitter X, in our Discord, so forth and so on. So did we finalize a time for that? I don't think we
have not yet. So we're just going to lock it in around, around the various other things. So sometime I would expect it to be kind of Wednesday or Thursday. We'll be doing something.
Yeah. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And if you have Bushidos, again, if you don't, great time to get some. But if you have Bushidos, especially, there are several Bushidos and a Ronin, which will become the leads of the series. So very excited about that. And with that, I think we can kind of wrap up. So as always, the best place to connect with Adam and I is either in, Discord is the most direct channel. So discord.gg /Macroverse. As always, we'd love to see you there. We're doing a little bit of a Discord reorganization right now where we're going to really focus in on what are the different things you can do, what are the different ways you can participate, what fun is there to be had across the Macroverse, because there's a lot of it and there will only be more of it over time. So, you'll start to see some of that become a little, I think, more streamlined and easy to participate in. But it's a great place to get us in the general chat just by tagging us. I'm relatively active in my own Twitter feed as well. So, at Ebonverse. Adam is a little less so on his Twitter feed.
Less so on Twitter, yep.
But feel free to tag me as well. If you're in Southern California, and specifically at USC, I will actually be on a panel tomorrow at USC talking about the future of storytelling in general and how all of this new technology from blockchain to NFTs to AI may play a role in what the future of storytelling looks like, and how we as storytellers can hopefully take advantage of these things to make better content and take advantage of what's here, as opposed to sticking our heads in the sand and pretending that it's not.
Yep.
Which I think is important. So that'll be in the afternoon at USC tomorrow, if anyone happens to be around that event or wants to come to that event. And finally, it's Friday, so have a fantastic weekend. And
yes, indeed. Enjoy the World Cup if you are a rugby fan, because I will be.
Indeed.
Yep.
And I think, as is only appropriate for ending a KIA conversation, hug life, y'all. Hug life. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Hug life, indeed. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll talk to you.